So what is your biggest selling point for VoltaGrid to the customers that are lining up to have us provide behind-the-meter solutions for data centers and other microgrids?
Speed to market right now is the key to getting these data centers built and how fast we can develop. So if you can look at our systems, we can see they're modular in their design, and the purpose of the modularity is to make it easy and simple to build, construct, and actually decommission once the utility is ready to get there.
Yeah, how do you think about reliability? Or customers ask you about reliability, like how do we think about that?
It's the number one question I get asked, right? As soon as we start building it out is how reliable is the system, right? So we have to think of everything in models of redundancy, right? Not only redundancy just in the power system, but also in the breakers, in the bus bars that we have, in the transformers that we have. Also, as you'll talk to, on the gas system.
Because I've been learning on the electric side, I mean, you guys are double and triple belt and suspendering everything when you build these things out.
Yeah, the intent is we want to be able to assign a liquidated damage to our customer on a reliability metric that's comfortable for them, right? So if we come in and it's balancing that, right? So it's not just about the actual reliability, it's the reliability at a cost. So what are we willing to sacrifice for cost and what are we willing to go for? But typically the data center market's looking at a 99.9% reliability from the power plant, understanding that they still have their diesel backup generators.
Yeah, but increasingly, I think we want to find ways to offer an even more turnkey solution. You know, you've talked about the modularity of the generators and of that package. You know, by being able to add in gas infrastructure, but also even in the future, things like carbon capture or things like battery energy storage systems, you can really do a full wrap to supply an energy as a service solution to these customers.
Yeah, you know, really, I remember when we started talking about these power plants and these people with like different customers, we also have to start talking, just stop talking about the electron, we have to start talking about complete energy, like you said, supply chain. So one of the things we've learned on actually making sure that our reliability of our power plant, right, and our gas system, right, from the gas system perspective, how do we make it as reliable as our power plant?
And there's a lot of different ways to get gas. You can get it from the local distribution system, you can get it from an interstate pipeline, you can get it from gathering pipelines. And the right answer, the right solution can be different in different geographies, you know, based on the regulation, based on the distance that you have to go to try and access that gas supply. So I think we've been good about being open-minded and kind of agnostic about where we go specifically to get the gas, but then making sure that we really do have redundancy in how we get it, and that we have firm supply, and that we can carry that reliability, those 3 nines or 4 nines or 5 nines, all the way back to the ultimate source.
I'm so glad you brought up firm supply, because everybody asked me about that. Is there firm supply on this system? What's the capacity of the system? They're telling me the system is fully subscribed. Can you kind of go into that a little bit of how a gas system might be fully subscribed, but actually might have capacity on the gas system?
Yeah, there's two different things when you think about gas. There's capacity and then there is supply. And the people who own the capacity on the pipeline are not always the ones that own the supply. And sometimes a pipeline can be fully subscribed. It could have all the capacity sold out, but some of those people that hold that capacity might have supply that they're not using. So it's two questions you have to ask when you approach a pipeline. It's, is there capacity available? And if there's not, then you need to find out, does someone who holds that capacity today maybe have extra supply that they can make available to us? And that often is, it's a gas marketer or another utility or something like that. And in many cases there are. And that's part of the art of the deal of really doing this is sometimes we have to patch together little pieces of supply under people that have existing capacity. And that is complicated. It does take time and it takes relationships to be able to do that.
Right, and when you do those contracts, what are the big risks that you have when you're looking at those contracts?
Yeah, I mean, you always want to look real closely at balancing language, at force majeure language. You've got to look at other things too, like the secondary points where you can take your gas on the days you're not actually consuming it. The biggest thing that I see of people getting eaten up by these gas supply contracts, it isn't the price at which they buy the gas when things are running, it's where they have to dispose of the gas that they purchased on a firm basis when they're not actually consuming it. And so there is help available for these things. You know, the gas business can be overwhelming and be intimidating, but there's a lot of smart people and there's a lot of not so smart people that have figured it out, you know, and so we're here as a resource for that, but we can also point people to other third-party resources that can help there too.
And you brought up price, right? So when you think about our power plant, right? So we're getting a really world-class heat rate on our power plant, 7.86 MMBTU per megawatt hour, so it's really low. And we're able to manage that through the way we have our electrical control systems, but also the source of the gas. So obviously we're here in Texas, right? Gas is fairly cheap, right? Can you talk about how the markets are different a little bit on the pricing on the power, the gas supply, sorry?
You know, and something too, we see people sometimes fixate a lot on the capital cost of the pipeline and focusing less on the underlying cost of the molecule, where in the scheme of things, The cost of the molecule is the big item over the life of any contract. In most cases, the capital to build the pipeline, to build the last mile, to build a lateral is going to be the equivalent of a couple months worth of consumption. So that's why we really try and prioritize people on getting to the right market first, the lowest cost gas, because that's going to be the biggest driver of your cost of power at the end of the day. It's not the generation that we do, it's the underlying cost of fuel. And so we try and be helpful on that.
Yeah, perfect.